but for you to ignore race, ethnicity, for body diversity? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. I'm glad you asked. Hello, plebes. Stormy here. One of the best sisters from the TRIX. Enemies of the stupid fairies that go to that dumb little school. We're here to... What was that? What happened? A reboot. Oh, that's fun. They did what? I was going to findom you guys, but it seems that there's more pressing issues to talk about. Let's talk about the Winx reboot. This is me talking about the Winx and why I'm mad. Let's get into it. And possibly hear from the slight reverb, I sound like I'm constantly on the small room iMovie audio effect, and what can I do about that? Because I am in a small room. I am in fact in, my closet. Welcome to the closet. I have gone back in. Better now than never, since I am now talking about one of the inciting incidents that made me realize that, I think I like women a whole lot, and not just aesthetically. The Winx Club. Let's talk about Winx and what Winx meant to me. Not me cosplaying lamely Stormy, but me as a bi-POC who really liked animation and anime and really loved seeing fun fairies and witches adventuring and exploring their worlds and their lives with powers. This video, of course, is sponsored by Jenny Nicholson. Jenny Nicholson is the reason that I found out about this due to a tweet that I saw on my notifications come from her, and then it informed me about this entire rabbit hole. So if she makes a video about this, I would die and I would eat it up, obviously. But I would also, would like to say, Jenny, thank you for sponsoring this content. So, for those of you who haven't heard, the Winx Club is getting a reboot, a live-action reboot that is being upheld by and featured on Netflix. I'll give you some, short background history on how Winx existed on the internet for its inception and time. It's one of the first kind of exposures to anime that a lot of people have. Moved over and was owned by Nickelodeon and was featured on Nickelodeon. That's how a lot of people found it. I found it, of course, before that on YouTube, before the acquisition, I think, fully went through. And I was enthralled by this amazing cartoon with these women that had triangular chests, tiny waists, and gigantic clomping heels. They were like Barbies in their shape and form, with brat style, but still like this gungho aesthetic that made it so fun and wonderful and unique. And of course it came with anime transformations, also featuring the uppity anime transformations. This is usually only maintained to the main character as the protagonist of your anime. They have secondary, thirdary, tridary. They have multiple transformation sequences as they level up gradually, but because you have an entire cast of protagonists, you have the Enchantix era. I can just remember the theme song. It's blasting in my head right now. But I say all of that to say that because it was an Italian-led animation, it wasn't considered anime per se. It was considered a cartoon, and it was considered one of those kind of weird anime cartoons because the Italian, the teams drew them in a very interesting way that kind of made people feel a little bit off about the Winx. But it was still held up highly in the community. We know with the reemergence of hyperpop and super preppy pink aesthetics, that has obviously fed into the renaissance of a lot of cartoons like Winx, which I find interesting because this came at such an amazing time where the Winx could have been good. The reboot could be promising, but I don't think it has anything worthwhile. The reboot of the Winx is boasting a lot of interesting and fun things. It wants to have a more serious and in-depth storyline. It's featuring people with different body types. It wants to go in-depth into all of the characters and not just focus on, our one main character, which is cool and which is fun. However, there are a few problems that we're going to discuss, and I'm going to discuss them in a tiered list. It's going to be really short because this is a topic that is brand new and kind of like evolving continuously, but I'll do my best. Number 1. Oh no, the whitewashing happened again, like always. The Winx Club is really interesting and fun because, unlike a lot of anime, it has a multi-ethnic cast. The main character is Bloom, of course, but you also have the supporting characters and also main characters in their own right because they have many episodes that are dedicated and focus on them, like Stella, Tekna, and here are the important ones, Flora, Musa, and Aisha. Flora is a definitely darker, deeper tanned version. Think of like Yasmin is often considered to be Hispanic of origin and nature and her ethnicity when looking at the Bratz franchise. Then you have Musa. Musa is an Asian woman, out and out. She's an Asian woman. And Netflix, so everyone's white. Stormy's mad, but not actually committing to diversity by keeping, oh my god, the original cast's ethnicity and ethnic traits. What? How? It's not even an oversight. You looked at them and you said, should I prioritize diversity points or should I prioritize the canon? This is the one time that I'm actually going for the canon, that I'm actually supporting the canon.
Usually I'm the type of person that I read fan fiction other than like watching the movie. I'll watch 30 minutes of a Marvel movie and then say, okay, yeah, I'm good. I've seen all of the cast, so I'm just going to look at the relationships that I want to see more and read the character development tag of this specific movie, and I'll leave you to your business. I don't have to finish watching this. I don't think the canon is that important.
But for you to ignore race, ethnicity, for body diversity? But does that make sense? No, it doesn't. I'm glad you asked. Second major issue is that the director has clearly stated, at least in his interviews, he doesn't actually really like the Winx series. The girlish whimsy and charm that, is embedded within it. Yeah, he wants to kind of get rid of that. He thinks it's too girly. Oh no, putting girly things inside of this live-action reboot would be too much. It's almost as if a man is trying to take away a source material that young girls and women alike to this day enjoy and enjoyed. You're taking something that is implicitly a little bit hard to get into, but everyone enjoys it so much because it's so hammy and fun and delicious. It's just so delicious and good. And you're taking it away because you think it's too much. In what world does that make sense? This is something that's continuously happened, and it goes all the way back to like the 90s when girl games was something that had to happen because women wanted to imbue femininity and girliness into like a game setting. With everything that happens, every piece of media that's girly and embraces it, it has to be stripped away years and years later by some stupid man who doesn't like it. It took one guy to say, you know what, actually,
I want to destroy the dreams and imagination of young girls, and the women that grew up off of the show destroy everything.
I want to tear it all down by putting everyone in dark wash jeans and Old Navy shirts. Not blouses. Tops. You're out of your mind. If you don't know the Winx Club, I'll describe it in very basic terms. It's a coming-of-age story that follows the journey of 5 fairies attending a magical boarding school in the Otherworld. And they have to learn to master their powers through the power of friendship, love, and magic This is called Fate the Winx Saga, which imagines the fairies' story with a darker twist, thanks to the creator Brian Young, who previously worked on the Vampire Diaries. I have to explain why this is already a glaring issue just from the descriptions that were used. Hi, hello. Hi, hello, no. Like, they renamed Flora, the flower fairy, into Terra, the earth fairy, because Flora, the flower fairy, is too girly. If you don't know what the Winx Club is, I'll let you in on a little secret. It's one of the girliest shows that ever existed. It is so hyper femme. Like, the Winx is rebellion incarnate, and now it's being instilled into the minds of other people that you can't be too feminine. You have to be Terra, the earth fairy, because Flora is just too girly. Get... Ugh. So Techna's not even in the show. They changed Flora and Musa, and they kept Aisha. They kept her. They kept her black, but they changed the ethnicity of Flora and Musa, and Techna's no longer there. Here's a message to Hollywood producers who are going to take franchises that have a primarily female fan base and, you know, kind of lives off of friendship, love, and magic, and also glitter bombs and flower crowns. Not everything has to be dark. Need I remind you that Winx has already dark themes and undertones. Bloom's entire story surrounding her life, her existence, and her parentage, where she comes from, her family line, her bloodline, that already within itself is dark. Not to mention the trials that they have to go to transform and upgrade and get their enchantix. The entire witch, fairy, magic system is dark. It doesn't need a dark twist. You don't have to de-girlify it. Idiot. Pleb. How dare you? Ugh. So mad. As a part of the TRIX, I hex you, sir. More glitter, more pink, immediately. I demand it. And you better keep the men in their fancy capes and their stupid little boy shorts, or I'm gonna throw a fit. A fit! I didn't put on eyelashes just so I could be mad. You don't belong here. Leave. Leave! Ah! So that's my Winx hot take. Stormy out. Bree in. Hi, this is Bree, the Bee. It was so nice of you to visit the hive today. I'm going to be buzzing away. But if you enjoyed this video, thanks. I hope that you're angry with me and we can talk about it in the comments.